Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub Pub Sports Radio, Wednesday, October 19th. Ian Cameron, Dutch Boy Fresh, Trot Wham, and we are here and we're ready for the first massive NBA slate of the new season. Yesterday was just a little appetizer, to be honest. 2 games, the doubleheader on TNT. This is where it feels like the season's back because we have a huge card and we have 12 games on tap tonight in the association. So let's get right to it. And we will start with the Washington Wizards taking on the Indiana Pacers. Right now, as you see on your screen, we will show you each game as we talk about it, the current line. Wizards 1-point road favorites, 227 the total in this game. Two teams where, we obviously don't think they're going to be great seasons necessarily for both of these teams. Certainly Indiana looks like they're rebuilding, blowing it up and starting over. We certainly saw signs of that based on the activity and the personnel moves during the season and in the offseason. Definitely looking long-term toward the future with the Pacers. So it's going to be a long rebuild. But there are still some parts that you like with this team coming into the year. Specifically, I think Tyrese Halliburton, who actually, as I mentioned on Monday, I like as most improved player. I think he was worth a look. I think he's obviously going to be a nice piece here for the Pacers, but still going to be defensively challenged. I think that's something that you're concerned about. Last year, that was an issue on the defensive end of the court. For Washington, you've got Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis, Will Barton, a solid player. I actually think they could be a little bit better this year, and certainly a healthy Bradley Beal finally. We don't know how long. But certainly it's going to help that they've got Bradley Beal to start the season. The glue in that backcourt, if you will, for the Wizards. It's going to help them quite a bit. I lean to the Wizards here to get the win on the road. Honestly, I don't know if I'm in a rush, to say let's take Washington to win on the road after what we saw last year. But I certainly think there's a little bit more of a higher ceiling for Washington this year than there is for Indiana. And I lean to the over as well. You're talking about two subpar defensive teams, especially Indiana. I think Washington's improved offensively coming into this season with some of the moves they made and the fact that Bradley Beal is available to them here for the season opener as well. So I like the over, smaller lean on Washington here as well. Dutch, my man, let's start with you. You got the vino going. I love it. It's never too early to start drinking. There's never. Here, Washington, Indiana.
Yeah, we don't get older. We only get wiser in this motherfucker. Believe
That's
that.
Right.
But real quick, salute to the ladies, gents, and D-gents for tuning in. You already know it's all love. Be sure to hit that motherfucking like button. Like I'm hitting this playing the first class funk. Get you right where you need to be. Yeah, man. Bang, bang. I see you, bro, man. Me and Green Picks in the motherfucking building. I appreciate the kind words on Twitter as well, my guy. I get money. I see you, my man. Ray Charles in the motherfucking building. Damn, motherfucking Kelly. I see you, my man. Everyone hit the like button. Share the video if you would. Because we're going in, coming out the motherfucking bag. Got a big card today. The Wizards, man, I like the Wizards here. I want to bet the Wizards here, but I'm a little sketchy last night. I did go 2-1, but gave away I think probably a bet that shouldn't have. I was very confident in the Phillies and the Sixers, but then I looked in the mirror and was like, what the fuck are you thinking, bro? Come on, man. They made some moves, and I know you want to talk, we got a big card, but they made some moves, man. James Harden looked good, they got some bench players. Maxey looks the real deal. And I mean, they still got motherfucking Glenn Rivers. They still got Glenn fucking shit up. So, I gave away a unit yesterday on that. But overall, LBJ got hit. And, we did okay. So appreciate everyone. Hopefully they profited yesterday. Wham, bam. The Lakers are the motherfucking Lakers. Oh, boy. Come on, man. Ain't a goddamn thing changed.
Man.
To say what my guy to what my guy Bobano said, I agree pretty much everything what he said. I think the better roster, the better team is the Wizards. I like Bradley Beal. I think KP's ready to show him. He looked sharp a little bit in the preseason. I want to bet the Wizards here. I really do. And they got Monte Morris too to run. They got a couple Denver cats. Will Barton, my man Bobano touched on that as well. So I think the Wizards are a better team. And do we think the Pacers are even playing basketball? Do they even want to win a game? I mean, I really feel like that when we're talking about teams tanking, and believe me, that will be for real with what's coming. I believe this team is a team that we have to cap every game with the aspect of, are these motherfuckers really trying to win basketball games? So if I had to bet this game, it would be the Washington Wizards. I think they are the better team, but it being the first game of the year, let me just sit back and see if I think what I think in the Wizards is going to happen, and then we'll find better spots here, I believe, with the Wizards.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sure Rick Carlisle's having buyer's remorse. I signed up for this shit. coming to Indiana prior to last year, and things fell apart. Now he's at part of a rebuild. I don't think Rick Carlisle signed up to be part of a rebuild.
Man, Rick Carlisle had fucking Luka the motherfucking Don and fucked that up somehow. So fuck him. He's getting what he goddamn deserves. Goddamn it. I know. Were you touching Hallie? You touching Hallie over here?
Yeah. He was giving grief to Dutch's boy, Luka the Don, so enough with him. Yeah, exactly. Get him the hell out.
I'm just saying, man. Come on. He didn't look too good at Dallas. Look what Jason Kidd doing with the crew.
Yeah, right. No, it's definitely a situation where his overall coaching win-loss record is still very strong. It's going to take a big fucking hit this year with the Indiana Pacers. There's no question. All right, Wham Bam, what are you liking here, Washington, Indiana?
Yeah, just a recap from last night, and I also want to give my boy Dan Kelly some love here. He said, I have to swear not to bet on the Lakers or against them or any of that stuff for the season. And you know what? I actually
didn't it look like you were watching the same movie as last year?
Bro, it's the same damn thing.
But listen, that's what I was going to go to. I watched the game last night, and then I'm thinking, yeah, this is the same shit, right? This is obviously the same shit, just like you said, Bavano. Then I told myself I have to go on the screen and let everyone know you're not going to hear that shit from me no more. Y'all heard it on the futures. I have a future with them. They go over 44 and a half. I'll be happy. And I'm going to just leave it at that. Lakers will not get any more of my money unless Russell Westbrook is gone and we see them playing well. That's it. But that's what it was last night. Neither here nor there. It was one unit. They hate to be down one unit, bro. But shout out to Dan. You already know we love you, Dan. Today, I do have a play in this game, and then a lot of people are expecting it to be the Halliburton assist. It is an actual assist. It's not Halliburton though. It's Monte Morris to have 4 assists and the Wizards to win. Now, I think the Wizards, they could be possibly looking on the tank watch just as much as the Pacers, bro. Let's not be real. Like, this is not that much leaps away from each other or anything. But I think today they're going to have the better team starting off the season. I do like the addition of Monte Morris. He actually went over 4 assists for those 3 of the 4 preseason games in pretty good spots as well. So I think he will be a distributor for this team. I do like them to win the game. So this is not necessarily about him getting the assist. Is actually trying to get the value in the actual bet. So it's at plus 126. I think plus 120 right before we came on here. You're getting good value. They're not getting that as far as money line. I'm looking at this bet as just a strict money line bet with the Wizards. I think he's going to get the 4 assists. Right now, if you were to bet it singly, it's like minus 200 or something like that. So I think he's going to get the 4 assists. It's more about them winning the game is actual risk, in my opinion, in this bet. So I like that look a lot as far as that's the official play for me in this game. As far as the Pacers, I do think that they are going to play well. If I was to take Halliburton assists, it's at 9.5. Why not just take the double-double? It's at plus 110. That's the way I would be going if I was just taking the Halliburton assist. But I think it's too easy. It seemed too easy. But JB looked easy yesterday. We talked about it yesterday, and he came out cooked up. So maybe Halliburton double-double is the play, But I haven't made that official. Officially, I am on the Monte Morris plus 4 assists and Wizards to win.
Yeah, man. You like this? So you are on the Wizards.
Yeah, pretty much I'm on the Wizards. Yeah, I like them to win the game. I think they're going to be the better team. And like you guys already mentioned, that they're going to be tanking for the Pacers. You look around, like it's Buddy Hield and these guys that they're trying to shop off, man.
This is what the show does to me, man. This is what the show does to me. I got 3 bets now. I might have 4, goddamn it. And the Wizards was 1 too. I even text Kizzy this morning. I was like, man, I want to bet the Wizards so damn bad. I just look at it. I'm like, they got Kuzma too. He might fuck around and have a game. But go ahead, Babano.
Well, that's the beauty of this show. It was like this last year. And if you're new to this show, like we each come into this show maybe sometimes with 3 or 4 bets and 3 or 4 plays we like, but then we start listening to the other guy on the show, and all of a sudden 3 or 4 becomes 7 or 8. So that's what can sometimes happen. We start to hear, hey, he's really on to something here with this game. And we end up, of course, I've got usually 10 bets off the hop regardless, as if you know me. So it's always a high volume way.
Hey, I added something because of your picks, Bavano. So I'm going to tell you which one it is though later on.
Well, let's hope for a big night. That is for sure on this first big slate of the season. All right, next up, we've got Orlando and Detroit. We've got the Detroit Pistons 3-point favorites, 217 the total. I lay the $145 or so with the Pistons here on the money line. I like Detroit to win this game. I've got them over their win total this year. I think they're going to be an improved team coming into this year. I love the backcourt and the potential of Cade Cunningham and the number 5 overall pick out of Purdue, Jaden Ivey. I think it's going to be a really nice tandem there in the backcourt. You saw what Sadiq Bey was able to do last year. He got better. You have now Bojan Bogdanovic now to give you a little bit more offensive punch. Isaiah Stewart, your starting five. You'll miss Marvin Bagley to begin the year. Of course, he came over from Sacramento. He's out to begin the year, but I really like the makings of this Pistons team, and I like the way they played down the stretch last year as well. But on the flip side, the Magic, they're a team that's, I think when they're fully healthy, they're going to be at times, there's a chance for improvement, but that's not the case. I mean, you're going to have Jalen Suggs, by the way, is coming off significant injury too. Let's not forget that. Left knee capsule sprain, bone bruise to end the preseason. He was banged up with that. They say he's not going to face a minutes restriction tonight, but still, there's talking about a guy that was not healthy late in preseason. We'll see how he fares. Is he going to be able to play at his best? We're going to see the debut of Paolo Banchero as well for the Magic. That'll be exciting tonight. Wendell Carter, Cole Anthony, the starting point guard once again. Franz Wagner, that looks to be your starting five. But they're missing key pieces. There's no Mo Wagner. There's no Jonathan Isaac. And the two big ones are Gary Harris and Markelle Fultz. Both of them out to start the season. I like Gary Harris's game, both ends of the floor. Gives you some of that tenacity as well. And Markelle Fultz, when he got healthy finally and played some games for Orlando last year, he didn't play that bad. And here he is hurt again. What else is new? It's just been the constant problem for Markelle Fultz, just damaged goods, cotton candy and plastic body parts right now for him, unfortunately. But, right now I like Detroit. I like this team coming into the year. I think they get the win here. Yeah, Dutch, go ahead. Orlando, Detroit.
Cotton candy, my God. Good to see Nets bets in the motherfucking building, man. Brooklyn got a big game today. The Pelicans in town, man. I can't wait to talk about that game. Shout out to my guy, JP's in the motherfucking building. Bang, bang. Juicy J, I see my man LJ got some plays on this game as well. Looking at Ivy, you put it back up there, missed me a little bit, running too fast. But salute to everybody, man. You know I'm about to do with this motherfucker, man. Back with this bitch, bro. Real quick. I don't know if Vic found it or not, but goddamn it, we're back with the official backwood number motherfucking one.
I had a hunch that this would be the first of the show for the backwood.
Won't be the motherfucking last. It will not be the last
either. All right, what do you think here, Wham Bam, with Magic Pistons?
Yeah, shout out to LJ. My boy said Jaden Ivey over 11.5 points. Sadiq Bey over 4.5 rebounds. I kind of agree with that, Ivy. Battle of the number ones here, though, with Paolo and Cade. I wouldn't be surprised if Paolo dropped a dub on his first time out there with those guys that you mentioned that's out. That's a lot of production that I expect to be added to this team in Orlando Magic that are out. I do expect Franz Wagner to continue to have a great after rookie campaign. So he had a great rookie year. Expect him to do that as well. But Paulo did kind of show me that, they may be running with him as far as being like a key focal point in offense. They have talked about is by committee, though. So it is going to be a by committee type of style. That's the reason why I am currently off this. But, man, if he drops 20 today, I'm going to be kind of kicking myself. It's at plus 265. I'm going to be kind of mad because that's kind of where my hunch is with this game. But I kind of agree with Dutch. This is something I just want to either scout the game, watch it, and then kind of be away from it on the betting aspect. But I wouldn't call it backward because I think it's going to be a really good game to watch.
Yeah, a lot of people do like the Pistons, though, this year. I mean, not do big things from a betting aspect, And I know there's big money being made off the Pistons last year, most definitely. Especially Bobano. He likes these bum fight motherfuckers.
I do. I'm not asking the Pistons to be even a playoff team, not even close, but get 29 wins. That's all I need out of them, and I think they can do that with this group. All right, Knicks and Grizzlies. Next up here, we've got the Grizz, 4-point home favorites in Grind City. The total 226.5 here in this game. The Memphis Grizzlies certainly last year, a very good season overall, kind of went awry in the postseason. But coming into this game, very interesting with key pieces out. You'll have John Morant, you'll have Desmond Bane, Steven Adams at the 5 spot at the center position, but got some key cogs out to start the year. Jaren Jackson, another guy that's got injury issues recurring. Danny Green, who just was acquired in the offseason, he's out. Dylan Brooks, a game time decision. I'd actually downgraded to doubtful, it looks like, with a left thigh injury for the Grizz. So a little short-handed Memphis here coming into this game. And on the New York Knicks side of things, look, I actually think this starting five could be decent if Tibbs is able to get the best out of this group and this starting five. You could do worse than what they've got. I mean, the big acquisition was Jalen Brunson, who had a terrific season with the Dallas Mavericks last year. Gives them some offensive punch. Joining Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson's finally healthy here to begin a season. That's a nice thing to see if you're the New York Knicks for sure. The Knicks have taken money because of the Memphis injury issues. I don't hate it. I don't hate it to look toward the Knicks here as an underdog in this game. I think it's probably going to be a tight, competitive game. I like New York a little bit here, +4, +4.5. Remember, they were higher, but people going against Memphis because of these personnel concerns that they've got. So I'm leaning toward that. Maybe the under as well at 226.5. From a total standpoint. Now, both games did fly over the total last night. It's worth mentioning that. I don't know if that's a sign of things to come. Is it just a blip on the radar? I mean, you can't just say 2 overs last night in the opening games. Everything's going to go over tonight, but it did look like at least defense was behind the offense, at least a little bit last night with the 2 games that took place. But this one, I think, could be a little bit lower scoring. This one of the unders on the card that I would probably lean with. But I like the Knicks. I do have a small bet on New York here as a dog. What do you think here, Dutch? Knicks and Grizzlies down in Memphis.
Yeah, our guy, net bet says it's a stay away game from him. Yeah, I imagine that he doesn't want to fuck with the motherfucking Knickerbockers. Well, I do, goddammit. Harold Williams, I see you. Bo Jackson, good to motherfucking see you. Tiffany, always nice to see you, young lady. Everyone, if you would, we got 160 motherfuckers in here right now. Take one moment and hit that motherfucking like button. It'd be muchly appreciated. Don Mack, lucky motherfucking power. It's very good to see everyone in the motherfucking building. Sweaty Butcher, shout out to our guy, Sweaty Butcher, was on the Celtics last night. Told us Sixers was a square play, and goddamn it, he was right. Had some good stats too with Marcus Smart and the Pistons, I believe, as well. So, Sweaty Butcher, it's good to see you in here dropping knowledge, my guy. But I like the motherfucking, the Knickerbockers here. I do. I mean, I really like Jalen Brunson. I mean, my man Bobano touched on most of it. I think first of all, I think the starting five is better right now with Jaren Jackson out, with Dylan Brooks out. I just think personally, I know they got Baines, I know they got, Morant, and they got, Clark, they signed a boy, but they're missing some big pieces here. They didn't really do anything to upgrade. And I think Memphis is, kind of caught people by surprise a little bit. They talk that shit. I feel like people are going to be a little bit more ready for the grindhouse, if you know what I mean. And the Knicks, I think, are a grinded out team. Jalen Brunson is going to go 1-for-1 to me with Morant. So you look at Randall, Barrett, and Mitchell Robinson looks like he's coming in shape. I know my guy Wham Bam has profited off him plenty of times. He's looking like he's ready to play some basketball. And then you look at that bench. Good Lord. I mean, they're fucking five. Obi Toppin looks like he could be, comeback player of the year. When we talked about that on Monday, we didn't talk about him, but that definitely was in my mind. Obi Toppin, if he's ready to rock and roll, he's ready to play basketball. I like what I've seen out of him. He's getting better each and every year. They have a fucking bench. So I think the Knicks are live to win this game. I got it at 5.5. It's all the way down, I believe, to 4.5. I endorse that, but we're missing numbers here. It opened at 7.5. I believe Juicy J got it early at 7.5. Shout out to Juicy J in the chat, getting great numbers. I really like anything with 4 and a hooker on this game. So if you can get 4.5, it's good. 5.5 is real good money. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Bobano said the Knicks win this game outright. But Memphis is going to play. This should be a real good grinded out basketball game. But give me Jalen Brunson and the boys. Everybody, a lot of lefties going around here, Wham Bam. A lot of lefties in the motherfucking New York, right?
Hey, nah, you called it, bro. I think the lefty has to be the reason why it's at 4, though, because the only difference I see between these two teams is obviously it's a lot of injuries for the Grizzlies. Jared Jackson's not going to be available over the next couple months or so. And you got the Dylan Brooks news. I mean, Dylan Brooks, I'd rather not have him.
I knew you were going to say that.
You already know I'm going. I'd rather not have him in the lineup.
You don't miss those jacking up those bad shots. No,
you know, bro. But nah, you know what? I'm currently off this game. This is a good game I'm going to be scouting, though. But I agree with you, though. If I was the number is telling me that this is probably a good spot to take the Knicks. I just don't think that if the Grizzlies were really this much of a favorite. They probably be 7-point favorites, right? Like they still got guys that should be able to hold it down, but especially with Adams being most likely in the lineup there. So I think the paint gonna be crowded. If I was to take a prop in this game, it's gonna be Ja Morant over 2.5 threes. I think he's gonna shoot threes here in this game. But that's it, man. I don't really have anything for this game.
Well, the thing that concerns me, and I know they're at home, they're probably getting the devalued Memphis team because of the injuries and what they're dealing with. But I also want to point out that when Ja was injured and Ja was out much of the season last year, and Kyle Anderson was on the floor, he ain't there anymore.
Right.
Melton's gone. There's some key pieces there for Memphis that were really integral when they were without Morant last year, and they're not there anymore. So you've got to go deeper into your bench. Now they have a decent bench, but these guys are not going to be accustomed to getting the minutes. They're going to have to fill so early in the season here. So I think it's just an adjustment for Memphis. I think you give a good coach like Jenkins time, he'll figure it out, but it's going to take a few games, I think, for Memphis.
Yeah, I think Williams is out too. So, my bad.
Yeah.
So they got, Jaren Jackson to me is the big piece there. I know Dylan Brooks is, someone that, you don't really mind on the bench from a defensive perspective, though. In intensity, he does bring it a little bit. So, but I hear where Wham Bam's coming with that.
Yeah, the most impactful players when Ja Morant was not on the floor last year for Memphis were Kyle Anderson, he's gone in free agency elsewhere, and Jaren Jackson, who's of course out 4 to 6 months here. So, that's going to be the obstacle for Memphis. We'll see how they handle it here tonight in their opener. All right, next up here we've got the New Orleans Pelicans and the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn 2.5-point home favorites, 231.5 the total. It's definitely one of the marquee games of the night just because we know it's Brooklyn with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and apparently all is well again, and kumbaya, everything's good again in Brooklyn, and we'll have to wait and see. Ben Simmons is now even playing and ready to go and hopefully ready to make an impact this season for Brooklyn. Well, let's see it tonight. I'm ready to bet against it already, that it's not going to go swimmingly early. I'm on the Pelicanos here as an underdog here in this game tonight. This is a team that I've said I'm committing to backing them early and often this season. And I like what I'm seeing from the Pelicans. And again, now all of a sudden, you've got to integrate Ben Simmons into the rotation. That could take time. And keep in mind, there's a couple of key backcourt personnel for the Nets that are not going to be available tonight in Joe Harris and Seth, not Steph Curry. They're going to miss those two guys. Good offensive catalysts for Brooklyn. Puts more emphasis on, now, obviously we know Kyrie and KD can certainly carry a team, but ready to do it in night one with no Harris, no Curry, integrating Simmons, see how they handle that. You could say that about the Pelicans too. They're integrating Zion, of course, who's now ready to go finally healthy for a full season. But when I look at this team with CJ McCollum, with Brandon Ingram, with Herb Jones, who's a small forward that can score and lock down on the defensive end of the court as well for this Pelicans team, I think they're very versatile. I think they're very athletic. The key for me is, and Dutch said this on the preview show, it was a great point by him, don't do too much if you're Zion. Blend in, blend with your team. Don't try to feel like you need to take over. So for me, for Zion, I think assists and rebounds is going to be more his thing tonight from a prop standpoint in this game. I don't want him to become all of a sudden think he's got to score all the time. You've got CJ for that. You've got Brandon Ingram for that. Use your teammates, share the basketball, share the wealth a little bit. So I'm going to take the Pelicans here, plus 2.5. I got it plus 3. I still like the 2.5, and I like the over as well. But the problem is the total. Man, in this game, it's been hammered up, 226.5. It's now 231.5. Huge move, but I agree with it. Dutch, should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. Pelicanos and Nets.
Yeah, man. I really did want to see Joe Harris back. Obviously it's nice to have Curry there as a piece too. Come off the bench, I don't want to see Curry fucking in the starting lineup. But I really like the addition of Royce O'Neal back there with Brooklyn. And I think we talked about this. I think they're gonna have a chip, especially KD, Kyrie, and obviously Ben Simmons as well. And that backcourt with Royce O'Neal and Ben fucking Simmons. Watch the fuck out, bro. I'm telling you right now, motherfuckers is gonna be thinking about that when they're lacing them up. That they have to go against that because Ben Simmons is the real fucking deal. Royce O'Neal plays basketball, 6'4" defender, above average defender, and he's out there to do one thing, and that's really to play D and knock down some open threes. So I really like the addition. We always talk about fits. That's a perfect fit for Kyrie, Ben Simmons. and obviously K motherfucking D, who's going to come out here and play MVP basketball. So, but to me, when I look at this game, I wanted to be all over Brooklyn because I think, they really want to probably prove a point. I mean, they were fucking putrid, below fucking putrid. I mean, it was a beautiful thing for us to see Brooklyn at home because we fucking faded the fuck out of Brooklyn last year.
And don't forget how bad they were ATS at home last year.
I mean, come on. I mean,
terrible.
They were horrible at the fucking house, let alone covering. Didn't win the damn game hardly at all as well. So I think a little different players on that caliber. You want to win for your fans at the house. I mean, come on, man. You got to protect that home court. Obviously, Ben should have a big fucking chip on his shoulder. So I'm excited to see it. But I decided to sit back and watch it. And one other reason is because of Big Val. I think Big Val's a fucking nightmare matchup for fucking Brooklyn. I really do. I don't think obviously, they don't have any bigs. They have Sharp off the bench. They're looking on Claxton, who I like. I like Claxton, but I mean, come on, man. That's all you got, bro. Like, I like Claxton, but you didn't do anything to replace him. I'm glad you got rid of Blake fucking Griffin. I got this Sharp cat from Carolina. He's a big young cat. So, but I mean, I'm worried about that. I think Big Val should be able to get his. And then obviously with the addition of Zion back, CJ, a Pelican. I mean, this is a tough basketball team. So this is probably one of the better basketball games on the card. I don't want to force a bet here. But I'm very excited to watch this fucking basketball game.
Yeah, Big Val over rebounds. Yeah, target that Brooklyn front court. How many times do we harp on it last year? The Brooklyn front court.
I mean, they have nothing for him. Man. They really don't. He should eat at will.
Yeah, exactly.
And Zion too. Like if he attacks healthy, if he plays his type of basketball, he should have his way inside as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There should be advantages for the front court for both squads in this game. No question about that. Pelicans, especially though. When you look at it, they should have the advantage there over that Brooklyn front court, which we railed on quite a bit last year. There's going to be opportunities there. I mean, they've got tons of size now with Zion and, of course, JV back again from last year as well. Should be a great game. But 200 live viewers, hit the like button. We appreciate it. We've hit 200 live viewers. We appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, man. What's that Mando? 150? Come on now. Let's get to the Mando. A bucket of motherfucking half. Come on now. Let's run it up. Yep. Appreciate everybody.
Hit that like button. Get that number up for sure. All right, Wham. This is a good game. What are you liking here?
Yeah, I love this game. I'm on the under. I bet this 8 days ago. I'm on the under 230. It's at 231, so it's obviously getting a little bit of love for the over. I kind of don't understand that when you think about both of these teams and what it's going to take for the Pelicans to win. I think it's nothing about the offensive end. It's all about defense. It's stopping those main two guys, and especially with the bench or with the depth that they're lost with those two shooters that you mentioned, Babano and Curry and Harris. They got to just lock down these guys. I'm not saying Herb Jones is a perfect guy to guard KD, but kind of fits the archetype, bro, if I may say. You know what I'm saying? As far as the mismatch, I think it is what Dan Kelly saying. Is Zion's going to be guarded by Ben Simmons? I think Ben Simmons might be in the rude awakening, bro. His defense may not be as impactful. So I would agree with you, Babano. The only reason why I haven't locked on this because I don't want to double up on two games. I'm already doubling up on another game we're going to talk about later. This game, I do want to double up and take the Pelicanos as well. I think the Pelicans are going to be better depth-wise. I think Devontae Graham coming off the bench is going to be a lot better than you see somebody coming off the bench for the Nets. And then as long as those guys continue to ball out with Zion, B.I., CJ, I just think that the Murphys and the Herb Jones, they'll be able to get those timely buckets here and there to be able to get this win here. So I like the Pelicans. I'm really on the under. I think the under is probably the best bet in my opinion because I think that the defense has to be keyed in on for Willie Green's team. I think he has to stop those two main guys, and once he does that, it should go under 230.
There we go, going against that big move toward the over. Wham going against it like an under here with this one with the Pelicanos and the Nets. All right, next up we've got Cleveland and Toronto. The Raptors home opener, 2.5-point home favorites, 216 the total in this one. I actually lean against. I have a small bet against my. I wouldn't say my team. I don't mind seeing them do well, but I don't know. I don't know if the Raptors should be favored here. I like this.
They're not your team, Bobano? Who's your team?
Tonight,
The
I think they're in
Timberwolves?
tough.
The Timberwolves?
Not last year they were. That was
Thunder,
the
the Thunder is
Timberwolf
my boy
tattoo.
too.
Yeah.
No,
People asking, where's your Timberwolf
I
tattoo?
wonder.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how you feel in Timberwolves. We touched on it briefly on Monday, but we'll
Yeah.
get to that obviously.
we will get to the Timberwolves because
Yeah.
they're on the card. But no, I like Cleveland here. I like them in terms of the personnel. There is chemistry concerns, but as the Spider, Donovan Mitchell going to fit in seamlessly right away. But boy, you pair him with Darius Garland. How do you not like the possibilities for that backcourt? Karis LeVert, I've always liked him going back to when he played at Brooklyn and Michigan, actually, in college basketball. He's been a good player for a long time, pro and college. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Evan Mobley's a defensive dynamo, this guy. I mean, he just good luck scoring when he's on the floor around that paint area. I like Evan Mobley's game. This is a very, very good starting five for Cleveland. And I think their bench is a little bit better as well. Now, they miss Rubio to begin the year. Mamadi Diakite is also going to be out for Cleveland so far to be early in the year. But no, I like that starting five. For the Raptors, you look at this team. It looks like Boucher is a game time decision tonight, although doubtful. It looks like he's not ready to go with the hamstring. Kem Birch, Otto Porter, who they picked up from Golden State in the offseason, looks like they're not going to go. Look, Toronto's starting five, it's solid. Van Vliet, Trent, Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, I think is going to have a terrific year. I'd jump on Scotty Barnes props tonight and early and often. I think it's going to be no sophomore slump. I think he's going to have a great year. He keeps working on his shot. This guy is stepping back, making threes now. That's crazy because everybody ragged on him for his shooting when he was drafted. Say, hey, he's athletic, he's long, he's very skilled, he's a great passer, great rebounder, excellent defender, but he couldn't shoot a lick. And look at how he's improved with his shooting. So I think definitely points, rebounds, assist prop for Scotty Barnes. I like that, even though I like Cleveland a little bit here in this game. And the problem for the Raptors, too, is going to be where's the bench production? Where's it going to be? It's still a weak point for this team. It was a weak point last year. I don't know if Masai Ujiri, for all the good things he's done, did enough to address that bench. I like Cleveland here, plus the points. What do you think, Dutch? Cavs, Raptors.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Abel Raymond in the motherfucking building. I see you. PM, new name. I see you. This game is very tough for me. I'm very high on the Cavaliers. I really am. I want to see how they're going to mix in LeVert here. I know you touched on that. I know he's ready to rock and roll. Best shape he's been in. Obviously, the addition of Mitchell and then Garland's a fucking stud. Our guy Wham Bam really put me onto him. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I realized how good he was from Wham Bam. And then of course, Jared Allen and Mr. Mobley coming through. The young cat looks like he's just going to continue to improve. So I like this team. Do I like this team in this situation? Not as much as some. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people I respect do. But I don't know. This is one of them games like Brooklyn and Pelicans. Let me sit back and watch. It could be like the Pelicans could be the clear side tonight, and it could be a clear Cleveland side tonight. But I don't know. Opening night in the North, they should be ready for that game, Bobano. They should have a little something to say about that. Scotty Barnes is gonna be a nightmare. I think he's gonna get to his, like you mentioned, Bobano. But it comes down to the backcourt. See what's up. The bench looks awfully light as well. But if Siakam can kind of touch on the way he did a little bit towards the end of last year, I mean, he was playing at a high level. So it's a lot of ifs and ifs for me with Toronto. I expect Cleveland to be good. Are they going to be good on opening night? We'll see. So I'm very excited to watch this game as well. But I'm going to have to sit back and make nothing official on this game.
See, that's why I like with Scotty tonight. I like points, assists, and rebounds. I could see him getting involved in all three facets. I could see him dishing the ball as a passer, as a facilitator. Obviously, he's going to get his rebounds, and he can score. So I think it's one of those games where I'd like to have the points, the PRA, points, rebounds, and assists with Scotty tonight.
Yeah, I like that look a lot. I really do. I expect big things out of Mr. Barnes. The Seminole, man. Come on, man. This dude's a man among boys, really out there. Not as skilled as LeBron, but he kind of looks like that part when LeBron first came. Yeah, like he just can do it all. Not at the level of him, of course. But I'm a big fan of Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, defending rookie of the year, Dan Kelly. Absolutely right with Scotty Barnes and earned it. He was terrific. What do you think, Wham, here, Cavs and Raptors?
Yeah, man, I really like this game as well. I think this is right there with the Brooklyn game. It's probably one of the good games to watch because obviously the new addition with Donovan Mitchell does seem like he's going to take not all the ball responsibilities that he had in Utah in this game because they got Darius Garland. Darius Garland assist prop is at 7.5. I think it's going to be interesting to see if these get those double doubles like he were last year. It's at plus 164. I'm really looking at that like really strongly there. But the bet that I would make if I had to make it in this game is going to be the Scotty Barnes to hit the three. He only needs one. He only needs one, and it's minus 115. I seen that minus 110 earlier. I'm trying to shop around and look before I actually put that in, but that's the way I'm looking here. I think Scotty Barnes could get a three, man. Come on. As far as the perimeter defense, we're not really worried about the perimeter defense. We're worried about the interior defense for the Cavs. I think they are going to close down the paint, so there's going to be a little bit more threes being available to the Raptors in that regard. But I'm with you though, Babano. I think the Cavs are probably going to be the better team. They're showing that they're already being undervalued. Start off, I think, should they be favorite? I mean, should they be underdogs here, even though they're on the road? I don't know. I think that they probably still are the better team. I think they are, kind of constructed really well, especially with the Donovan Mitchell addition there, and their bench is pretty deep now. That they have Caris LeVert coming off the bench along with Kevin Love and those other guys that they already had. So I like the Cavaliers. I'm going to kind of wait to knock that in as far as the Scotty Barnes, but Scotty Barnes over a half three, just need one. I kind of like that a lot. It hasn't made a play. I haven't made the bet yet, but that's the strongest one I'm thinking in this game.
I think it's a great prop. There's the single made 3-pointer for
Scotty from deep.
That guy was taking a lot of threes in preseason, and he was making a bunch of them as well. So that's something you definitely want to see if you're going to bet that prop. All right, next game on the menu for this Wednesday. Oh, happy birthday, Dutch! There we go.
Yeah, I was going to wait for that, but happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. We don't get older, we only get wiser in this motherfucker. So
this is why you brought out the wine.
Don't mention the age. Just say happy birthday. Another great year ahead. Wiser,
my lady, you see his Libra season. That's why we had to break out the wine. So, it was a nice little gesture. But yeah, salute to everyone with the wishes and most importantly, y'all as well, man.
Exactly. You're better and wiser, not older.
Man. We only get wiser in this. Now pass the motherfucking bud. Yeah, that top shelf only, not a motherfucking wood, please. No. But
speaking of a backwood, we got at least one backwood team here. Houston Rockets taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta 10-point favorites, 234.5. This is a double up for me. Side in the total. I'm laying it with the Hawks at the house. We know in Atlanta at home, there's a team that's pretty good long term under McMillan, straight up in ATS at home. You've got a team that you're absolutely capable of just beating down. You should be able to take care of business here if you're the Atlanta Hawks in this game and get the job done. Trae Young, of course, the big addition of DeJounte Murray from San Antonio in the offseason. Hunter, Collins, Clint Capella, your starting five. Pretty solid stuff right there, if you ask me, for the Atlanta Hawks. And, man, you talk about offense from Young and Murray and what offensive capabilities they have. You're going up against one of maybe the worst defensive team in the NBA. Certainly last year, they were one of the worst defensive teams, Houston. And Atlanta had their defensive issues too, but Houston was extremely porous on the defensive end of the court. This year, you better hope you get good stuff from Gordon, Green, and Porter, Jabari Smith, also in that starting five. And then the bench is going to have to produce. And I don't know if you're going to get certainly the thing with this Houston team is there's not a lot of guys that are buying in defensively. If you saw anything from last year, they really struggled at the defensive end. There wasn't good transition defense. If you push the ball against Houston, you are going to get easy baskets, layups, easy baskets in transition. That's trouble with Atlanta because they can burn you in transition. Houston is somewhat capable, though, offensively, and Atlanta can still go into these lapses defensively. And there's still questions about how much better they can be at that end of the court. So I think in a very high-scoring game, Atlanta will find a way to pull away, win by double digits. But I'm also on this over. It's a very high total, one of the highest totals on the board. In fact, I think it is the highest total on the board at 234.5. But it's very high for a reason, and I think we're going to see the over here in this one with Houston and Atlanta. All right, what do you think here, Dutch? Rockets, Hawks.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my guy, Dabby Cab. I see you, my man. Linzo in the motherfucking building. J-Rod, I see you, my man. Coin, everyone in the chat. We got a lot of appreciate everyone coming through. Everyone in this motherfucker right now. We got about 248. Take a moment, hit the motherfucking like button, do that, share the video, and also subscribe to Pub Motherfucking Sports Radio if you have not, because we're taking over, believe it. From motherfucking NBA to the NFL to the motherfucking college football and everything in between. Pub Sports Radio is where you get it, believe that. But yeah, this game, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I see a lot of motherfuckers on Atlanta here. I know you're real high on Atlanta. I'm gonna have to see it. I'm trying to see it from everyone else's perspective because people that I respect, like yourself, Bobano, there, seeing a lot of Atlanta. So I can't.
I'll be honest, Dutch. I'll be honest quickly. But if this was Atlanta on the road at Houston, I may not be on Atlanta here because we know on the road they're really sketchy last year. But at home opener, I expect them to be fired up, do away with this team. Let's see. Hopefully they can.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they lose Herter. I don't really see any other additions besides the big addition, obviously, of Murray, who I'm really eager to see play with Trey. That in that backcourt. I want to see how it goes. My guy, hey, I gotta say, Kenny Woo, Mr. Woo Woo Woo. That's all you, Bobano. But hey, we got Kenny Woo Woo in the building. It's good to see you as well, my man. I had to get you in. AOD, I see you, my man. But yeah, I'm not gonna bet this game. But honestly, I don't. I think Houston has basketball players. Now, do they play team basketball? Are they out to get theirs? Do they just go out there and play? Yeah. So take that for what you will. I want to see. I'm interested to see the other side. Is Atlanta as good as people that say they are, or because I'm not as high on Atlanta. I want to see how this backcourt's going to work. DeAndre Hunter's a stud. I'm not too high on Smith, and obviously Capella. We're going to get out of him a lot of fucking rebounds and some dunks. And Trey's cool, but we'll go from there. But yeah, Wham Bam, how you feeling? You like this game, my man?
Yeah, you know what? It's very tough, bro. I was looking at man, the Hawks laying 8, then it got to 9 and got to 10 now. Shit, man, I kind of like the Rockets, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the Rockets, but at the same time, I agree with Babano. It's gonna be a backwood type of deal with the Rockets. I'm not sold on Silas. I do think that they have really good pieces, very great individual play, but when it comes to beating another NBA team that's pretty well coached, and David McMillan that Babano mentioned on our preview show, possibly a Coach of the Year candidate, I think he's going to have a good season. And the guys that, this is the first time that we're going to we've seen, Trae Young kind of doesn't have to do all the distribution. We haven't seen that yet. So that's why it is kind of very intriguing. It's the reason why I'm not on the Hawks right now, just because I don't know how dominant they are offensively. I'm more concerned about their defense, though. So I think that the defense is going to be the trouble here. I think the total going over is probably the better play, in my opinion, if I had to make a play, because I think that both teams are going to score. Jalen Green possibly could get 30 tonight. His prop is at 22.5. Y'all know I was loving it at 20, at 22.5. I think he makes the leap. Is he going to be consistently around that 25-point score range? That's what he needs to do in order to go over this total. So I think he gets there, but as far as day one, I'm not that confident in taking his prop over, taking the total over, because maybe this Hawks defense is legit, and you know what I mean. They probably can't get over, but I think Babano got a good spot here, so I'm gonna root for my boy on this one. And I can't do the bird call there, the Hawks, but I know my guy been heavily working.
Neither can I because of my voice.
Yeah, I know you've been heavily working, bro.
Yeah, I can't even do it with my voice.
But that's what I would say if I could.
Yeah, I like the over more than the side, by the way. I do have more money personally on the over than I do the Hawks. I do want to point that out. And if I actually sent my card today to we have a DM on Twitter, the Pub DM, and I sent the whole card. And actually, I do have more on the over than I do the Atlanta Hawks. So I do prefer the total a bit more than the side in this game. Jay Peasy, $20 birthday dono right there.
Yeah, man. Run that motherfucking dono not one, but 2 motherfucking times for Jay Peasy. Yeah.
There we go.
Didn't know he's on the motherfucking intro. Yeah, man, I miss saying that, Easy. A real one, most definitely. And I still bumped the motherfucking sets intro. Don't get it twisted, bro. Don't get it twisted. It still get played. Believe that. Shout out to Eric Jones as well. I see you, my man. Appreciate all the kind words. Everybody in the chat. Much love. Appreciate the dono. As all my man, as always, JPZ showing love, man. No matter where it be, NBA, college
Every day.
basketball,
Every day
MLB,
is here.
you know, playing roulette. My man always doing something and showing love. I appreciate you,
Super
my man.
love.
We appreciate everybody. That's the same names of many of them as last year. We love you that you all came back. We really do. I mean, Kenny Woo Woo Woo, AOD. I mean, it goes on. Juicy J,
didn't leave us.
Abel
That's
A.
the best part about him.
Yeah, Don Mack, Nasty Nate, Dabby Cab. I mean, it goes on and on and on. All the people that Dan Kelly. I mean, Cheshire Cat with us last year, back with us in the chat this year.
Yeah, depending on what day it is with this motherfucker, though, right? You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Look at him. Look at him. You know, I knew he had something to say. He's like Razor, but you know, not as good.
Burn,
Burn,
baby,
burn.
burn.
You gotta skin that cat, huh?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Chicago, Miami now next up on the Wednesday slate. Heatles 7.5 point home favorites, 216 the total. So as much as I said I don't love Miami being in that real up near
I seen that.
the top. I mean, I think Miami will still have a great season. Don't get me wrong, but I just think I've got. And by the way, the death of Boston was greatly exaggerated last night. They clearly like that Joe Mazzulla taken over as the head coach. They came out with purpose last night. Credit to the Celtics, but Miami still. Again, are we gonna get Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler for a full season healthy? Going to be a big question mark here. But tonight I do like them. Tonight I do like Miami in this spot. I am not a big fan of the Chicago team. I do not like seeing the way they flamed out. And keep in mind, last year this team didn't play a lick of defense last year. And the reason they didn't play defense last year is the reason they're probably not going to play great defense this year to start the year with Lonzo Ball out to begin the year. That guy was huge on the defensive end of the court. Actually, believe it or not, I was even more worried for their defense because yesterday it was kind of looking like Alex Caruso wasn't going to play for them either, but it looks like he will play. Thank goodness. It's one of the guys that actually does play some defense for the Bulls. He will be in there, but still, I think it's going to be a tough ask here, this game against the Miami Heat, the much better defensive team, clearly, compared to these two teams. And we talked about it last year. Chicago straight up in ATS against winning teams last year. Teams that were good teams with a winning record, and Chicago failed time and time and time again in these situations. So I laid 6.5 with Miami. It's gone up to 7.5. I still like it at the current number. Heat laying the points. Dutch, what do you think here, Chicago, Miami?
Yeah, man. I think it's about that motherfucking time. Cheshire Cat, salute to you, my man.
Another
Run that bitch. Don't know.
Train going.
Not one, but two, mother.
Hell yeah.
There we go. Thank you, Cheshire Cat.
You already know it's all love. Always supporting all channels, all things Pub Sports Radio as well. We bust each other's balls, but you know, it's the real deal, my man. Appreciate you. This game, I mean, realistically, the Bulls are starting Ayo, right? I don't want to kill his last motherfucking name, the kid from Illinois. He got defense. He's your starting fucking point guard, all right? So I'm wondering, can these boys make a 3-point shot? I just don't know if they're going to be able to share the ball enough. I mean, DeRozan's nice, Levine's nice, and Big Vooch can get his, but are we going to see team basketball out here? I mean, they don't have a fucking point guard. This guy's not an NBA point guard, believe that. He's like a 2 guard without a jumper. So, I don't know how this is going to work. I agree with Bobano here. I expect, Miami to be a bet-on team at situations throughout the regular season. But I just feel like, when it comes down to real basketball, I don't know if we're going to be able to count on these motherfuckers. And I'm interested to see how Kyle Lowry is going to play. Is he going to be in shape? Is he going to be the Kyle Lowry that we seen 2 years ago, or the Kyle motherfucking MIA we seen last year? Because he was obviously has some personal issues, was enjoying the motherfucking beach, South Beach style. Take your ass back to Canada to get your mind right, and then come and play basketball, all right, at a professional level. Please, Kyle, all right? Make this shit a little bit easier for us to cap, God damn it. But with Jimmy Butler, with obviously Eric Spoelstra, one of the better NBA coaches in the league, I think we can all agree on that. With Big Bam, I think Miami will be a team we could take advantage of here. And I do think Chicago is suspect. But another game I want to watch, if you force me to bet, obviously I'd be on Miami. Probably Miami first half here. I know we've cleaned up at the house with Miami early at home, especially first half early and often with the Heat. So the fans might not show up early, but out there on South Beach. But Miami has tend to show up early and often at the house.
All right, there we go. Like in Miami, more in the first half for Dutch here. What do you think, Wham Bam, Chicago, Miami?
Man, you called it, bro. AO starting Dusumo at the Dusumo.
Ayo, tired of
Dusumo.
using technology. That's Ayo, yeah, Dusumu.
Yeah, shout out to AO starting last year. He was killing on the assist, so he was distributing the ball. It's just, man, he's going against the stifling Miami defense that had held Trae Young in the playoffs, pretty low to assist totals. So it doesn't want to be the first play I make, what I'm saying, is going to take his assist, even though I think he will be distributing the ball here. I agree with my guy, Babano. I think the defense is going to be there. I agree with you as well, Razor Sharp picks. As much as Miami has great defense, offense may be a little stagnant there. They're not going to have Victor Oladipo off the bench, and then you don't have Zach LaVine for the other side there as well. I think those are big additions when they do come back to both of those teams there. So I think the under is a good spot here. I think Nikola Vucevic continues to be shit against good centers here. So I think he's going to have a bad game today. It's going to be all on DeMar, bro. So DeMar has to continue to do it. He'd had a great career type year last year. He has to do it again today, in my opinion. So I don't want to bet on that. I think if any other way I had to bet this, it's going to be the Heat with my boy Babeno here. I think it's kind of even shorter, though, because it should be probably 10 for them if they continue to knock down shots. Gabe Vincent, Tyler Hero, even Duncan Robinson and those guys. So I'm going to sit back and watch, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat will just blow these guys out.
Yeah, real quick, Bobano, Razor. I know my man Wham touched on it, but Razor, Gambler's first glance is the under 216.5 in this game. And I believe he's 7-1 last 8. And obviously started off pretty fucking good in the NBA last night with the Celtics -3. So we appreciate you dropping your knowledge, my guy.
Yeah, there we go. He's a red hot gapper right now.
Sure.
Razor sharp, like in the under there with the Bulls and the Heat. All right, next up, we've got the Charlotte Charlotte Hornets taking on the San Antonio
These
Spurs.
motherfuckers.
San Antonio 1-point home favorites, 221.5. The top. I mean, where do we start? We got Miles Bridges, domestic violence charges. We got James Bouknight, driving while impaired. Just absolutely a shit show off the court right now for the Charlotte Hornets. Just a complete and utter. I'm on San Antonio, actually. I took the Spurs in this one, +1. It's pick them now. I think Spurs win the basketball game. These two teams, there's very little difference between them. I think the difference is going to be San Antonio's got more. They're in tune with basketball right now. Charlotte's got these two guys that are often doing their own thing and getting into trouble. You've got a Hornets team that's going back to the future, if you will. Steve Clifford. It didn't go well for Steve Clifford last time he coached this team. What's going to make it any better this time around, especially a rebuilding outfit? You've got obviously LaMelo Ball out for the season opener tonight, and you saw the way Charlotte played without him last year when he was out. It wasn't pretty. He's out with the ankle to begin the season. So you're going to be looking at what you got: Dennis Smith, the point guard spot. You got Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, Miles Plumlee. It is just ugly right now. It looks like Rozier, Oubre. Rozier's going to shift over to the point guard spot. Oubre, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, Mason Plumlee. Your starting five. Look, San Antonio obviously gone is DeJounte Murray, but a lot of the guys. Wham always mentioned Devin Vassell last year for the Spurs. He's a capable player. Trey Jones will move over to the point guard spot. He had some good moments at times. Keldon Johnson. You got the big man Jakob Poeltl back. I think there's enough for San Antonio to take care of this Charlotte team that's not a good team on the court, that's missing LaMelo, and they got a shit show of issues off the court right now. Give me the Spurs here to win their home opener. Dutch, what do you think? Charlotte, San Antonio.
Yeah, man. I expect the Hornets to be a team, and I believe my man Wham Bam will touch on is a little more, and you definitely did as well, Bobano. But yeah, we'll be betting against the motherfucking Hornets an awful lot. And if I could just ask for one thing, MJ, get the fuck out of there, man. Sell that goddamn team. Do whatever you got to do to get your name off the fucking Charlotte Hornets, because he's the only motherfucking thing I like over there. And I never would feel bad from a guy with that high, character. But come on, man, MJ, get the fuck out of Charlotte, bro. You don't have no business running the motherfucking Hornets. But yeah, man, backwood this motherfucker.
Right, there we go. Backwood for Dutch. What do you think here? Ugly game, but like I said, I can make a case for the Spurs here. How about you, Hornets Spurs?
This is my favorite game, bro. This is my favorite game of the day. This is my favorite game of the day. And it's not only because I bet this 8 days ago and I got a 20% closing line value on it on the under, but I like this game for everything that Babano said. And when I seen that he was on the Spurs, I said, why am I playing with myself? I need to be on the Spurs as well. Greg Popovich, he's pretty good on openers. From this stat that I seen that was posted yesterday, he's 23-2 in season openers, and it's even better when they're home openers. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good stat there. We know how bad this damn team is. Book night, how you go to sleep in your car and get caught with the blicky on your damn lap, with the gun on your lap, and a bag of Doritos, bro? TMZ ain't shit. That's cold right there, but I love it. I love it. I think it's a great start. I think it's a great start to the season. Oh, sorry, my son just fell. I think it's a great start to the season, bro. I think it's a great start to the season, and I think the Spurs do win this game. As much as Keldon Johnson, I thought he was going to be hurt to start this game, but now he's going to be playing. Now you giving that a big boost as far as the offense, and then you also get the 7-1 on home openers. Shout out to Danny.
Home openers alone, 17-1.
Shout out to Danny for that. I love that stat, bro. But I like Vessel too. I like Vessel today. You already know Babano, but I'm on the Spurs too. I took them at money line -108. I think that this is going to be one of those moments that you see. Well, yeah, I guess Hornets are tanking, and they're losing. This is a team that really is going to be tanking after this game. So I think the defense is going to be there for the Spurs here. That's what my main thing. Who can score on who is probably the reason why I originally liked the under. Again, the line value probably is gone though, because it did drop from 231 to 221 now. So it's a big difference now from when I got it. But I like the Spurs here. So I'm on the Spurs, and I also took the under obviously 8 days ago with about 10 points added onto it total. So I'm taking the Spurs though as far as the official play for today. Obviously, if you got it with me back last week, solid. We're gonna ride out with that.
Yeah, this is no cinch. San Antonio's not leaps and bounds in a better way than Charlotte right now, but certainly less issues off the court, and of course, ball being out is significant for Charlotte, and that to me that tips the scales in San Antonio's favor here. Next up, we've got Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City. It's good to say that again for another year. The Thunder taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota 10.5-point home favorites, 225 the total in this one. Huge move down in the total, and I can see why. Minnesota really worked to improve defensively in the offseason. Of course, that's going to happen. You bring in a guy like Rudy Gobert, rim protector, trying to improve that interior defense. That was your shortcomings last year, was getting stops on the defensive end, so he should help that. I really like what Minnesota could be this year. D'Angelo Russell and Edwards back in your starting backcourt. Karl Anthony Towns, of course. Kyle Anderson, what a nice addition. I talked about how good Kyle Anderson was with Memphis. Nice addition here for the Timberwolves, getting Kyle Anderson as well. I like this group. I really do. I think it's going to be a solid basketball team, and I think they could wipe the floor here in this opener against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who, they're in that tank, situation as well. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey showed you a little, glimpses of what he could be. If Lou Dort's healthy, he's a good defender, can make some shots for you. But you get that outside of those three guys, and this becomes a patchwork and very, very thin basketball team. That's all there is to it, and it's going to be tough for them to compete on most nights. The question is Minnesota. It is their home opener. That's why I'm more interested in laying the points on a night like tonight. I don't see them looking ahead. This is the home opener. It's your season opener. There shouldn't be any but team that's not ready to play or not excited to play. Minnesota should be. And if they are and they take care of business, they improve defensively, as I think they will. Oklahoma City's very limited offensively. I think they'll win by double digits. I laid it with the Timberwolves here in this one. And everybody hammered the under. I can't say no to that. Oklahoma City's not going to play fast. They're an offensively challenged team outside of Gilgeous-Alexander, and maybe Dort and Giddey can sometimes give you something. Then outside of that drops off the map offensively for them. Defensively, they can be decent at times, and I think Minnesota's improved defensively as well. So I understand why the bettors have looked under with this game. What do you think here, Dutch? OKC, Minnesota.
Yo, guy, bang bang, like in the T-Wolves first quarter. I see you, my man. Good to see Riz in the motherfucking building. Big Zoe in the building, Jacksonville. I see you, my man. But yeah, man, I gotta back with this motherfucker.
Woods for Dutch. All right, what do you think here? Wham, Thunder, T-Wolves.
I'm right there with you. I think Timberwolves are for sure going to be playing. And like you said, this is not a normal situation for the Minnesota home opener. They mortgaged their whole future, bro, for Rudy Gobert. We know how many picks they gave up to get this dude. And they believe that right now is Ant Edwards' time. Ant Edwards should be able to do what he wants against this Thunder team, regardless who they put in front of him. I will say Baisley has been looking really good in preseason, pretty much high skyride dunking, looking really healthy at this moment. But I mean, the Thunder, and I do love SGA being available here. We haven't seen him play yet in a while, it seems like. So, not sure how that's going to mesh with this Thunder team. I will say that. And they haven't showed us that they wasn't going to play tough last year. They covered spreads. They did what they wanted to do. But in this game, I think it's so much motivation, so many things that's going to be pulling for the Timberwolves to win this game and win it convincingly. I agree with you there. The only reason why I'm not on this is because I want to see how the first couple games start off. And then I think this is going to be a smash spot, trifecta spot. And I forgot to mention, too, my boy Nasty Nate, he not only on the Bucks trifecta, he said the Hawks trifecta, too. So he agreed with Babano here. I think you probably will agree with this one, trifecta as well. Timberwolves. I'm thinking that's kind of the play later on tonight, but neither here nor there. I'm not officially on that, but that's the way I'm linking here. I think that we know what they're trying to do for the Thunder. They're trying to gather picks. They're trying to tank. They're trying to see who they have as far as these prospects. And I think they know who they have as far as Giddey. They know who they have with SGA. Probably not getting good offers there. So they're going to continue to run these guys. It's going to be interesting to see how tough they play against these teams. But I could clearly see this being a bigger spread later on down the line. Being a divisional foe, I could see this being at 15 in the middle of the season here rather than a 10. So it might be the shortest matchup wise for a home team for the Timberwolves. So again, not on it yet, but I like the Timberwolves.
All right, next up, we've got Denver and Utah. We've got the Nuggets now 7-point road favorites in Salt Lake City, 225 the total. I'm on the Denver Nuggets here. I'm high on this team, higher than a kite on the Denver Nuggets this season. I think it's going to look. This is people have to remember. It's been a while, but people have to remember and go back in time and remember how good this basketball team was when they had both Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray on the floor. That was a team that could beat anybody in the NBA, anybody in the Western Conference. They showed that, and I really like what they have done. Obviously, they are going to have those two guys together again this year. You bring in KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. That guy's just a guy that helps a team win. You know, he does a lot of different things for you. KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, nice addition. Even DeAndre Jordan, even at this stage of his career, for some front court depth, I don't mind that at all. I think this is going to be a very good Denver team, improved defensively, certainly offensively. Now you've got your 1-2 punch back. And Utah, my goodness, how things have completely swung for the Utah Jazz. We were thinking contenders for all these years, and now all of a sudden they go from contenders and playoff hopes to all of a sudden rebuilding with this team. Now, they didn't totally zap the roster of all the talent. I mean, there are still some solid players. You've still got Mike Conley. You've still got, you bring in Colin Sexton, THT, Talon Horton-Tucker, Lowry Markkanen, Jared Vanderbilt, who you've talked about a lot in the past, Wham, on this show. You know, there's still some talent on this team, but obviously the depth is just not going to be there like it once was. And you could see the writing on the wall with another flame out in the playoffs last year, the chemistry issues, the locker room issues, that things were just going to end up being, things were just going to end up going south for them, and they might blow this thing up, and that's exactly what's happened. Tough situation for Will Hardy now, taking over as the new head coach of this Jazz team, and tough opponent, you know, to start the season with here, taking on this Denver team. So I think it's going to be a tough start to the year. This team, that's their win totals at 22.5. So we're not expecting a ton of success, for 25.5, I should say, for Utah. Going to be a tough year. And I don't know if there's an opponent you would be, there's not many more opponents that are going to be more difficult for you first night than this reinvigorated, revitalized Denver team with Jamal back, with the Joker, KCP, Bones Highland, who I like as a 6th man of the year potential winner. I bet him to win 6th man of the year. I mentioned that on Monday. So I laid it with Denver here, -6.5 up to -7. Still like it at the current number. Dutch, Denver, Utah.
Yeah, man. I got LJ's right with you as well with the first half and full game Nuggets. And I'm right with you as well. I like a lot of what you said, except for when you said DeAndre Jordan. I don't want to see that motherfucker. No way, no how. Give me Zeke. Give me Zeke out there. Najee out there. Let that motherfucker run. I don't want to see no DeAndre
I
Jordan.
said it gives them some more depth. I'm not saying he was good. Yeah.
Unless it's fourth quarter, you know, it's fourth quarter and it's about that time. Let that motherfucker run out there. But yeah, I agree completely with you when it comes to Denver. I'm all over in first half -3.5. You can get it right now at BetMGM. I like this looking awful lot. I love the addition of Bruce Brown, Ish Smith as a backup guard too. Everyone's talking about Murray. Ish Smith coming around playing basketball, been around, been a lot of teams, but they like what they see there. Denver had a great preseason. But come on, man, they got players that fit. The addition, Bobano touched on it with Pope. I like obviously Murray coming back, Michael Porter Jr. coming back healthy as well. They can run it through, the offense here. And Utah's a fade, man. Utah's a fade all the way. They're not even starting Sexton. I don't know what this new coach is doing. Sexton coming off the bench. I don't even what the fuck. My guy Dabby Cap is on Jordan Clarkson 3-pointer prop. I believe it's over 2.5. Put 2 units on that. Very confident. Hit that a lot last year. So. He told me that's my birthday gift, so I might have to tell that one. But other than that, man, I think Denver is going to roll these motherfuckers. First half -3.5 is good money. It's going to be mile high in Utah, man, because Utah to me is Fade City. They got players that can put the ball in the bucket. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see a team there, and I definitely don't see no defense there outside of my guy, Wham Bam's guy. Vanderbilt. I know he's high on this guy. He's a basketball player. He's going to bring some toughness to the team. But outside of that, I don't see nobody that wants to play defense on the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, they are going to be one of the worst defensive teams. You look at everybody they brought in is a subpar, below average defender. That's the bottom line. Every single player they added, Utah, is not a good defender, is a below average defender. And of course, Gobert is gone, maybe their best defender.
Right.
So you talk about just a worse defensive team. That's probably why the total's been hammered up in this game as well. This opened 218. It's 225.5 now. Total.
I expected Denver to get whatever they want offensively against this team.
Yeah, the betting markets agree with you there for sure. What do you think here, Wham? Denver, Utah.
Yeah, man. I know Jamal Murray probably is going to be on a limited amount of minutes today. If you guys know, you guys can shout that out. But I think it's total for his points is 13.5. Man, 15 points, bro. That's all we need. 14 points is all we need. I mean, I think he's going to be bad. I don't think he's going to be as bad as Nikola Jokic was saying that he's going to be bad for 20 games and shit. Like, we're going to hold it down for him. Like, damn, that's fucked up. But I think this is definitely a bad defensive team. We know where direction this team is going. They got all the picks, man, for a reason. And that's funny that you said below average defenders. They for sure has a lot of below average defenders, bro. I don't see nobody on there besides Vanderbilt. Yeah, besides Vanderbilt, that's the only guy I actually like on that hustle side of things. But the Nuggets for sure should be able to steamroll this team. Is it either are they going to do it or not? Is kind of really the question here. But this is another game that I really am like kind of looking in. Like, why am I not on the Nuggets yet? And I'm not sure why. It's just one of those things that I just want to wait to see how they're going to use Jamal Murray, what type of usage they're going to have. But the props are kind of showing that they're not really going to have him out there. They're going to play more KCP, obviously for defensive purposes and stretch purposes. I think that's going to be a good look there for them. But I'm going to stay away from this game just because this game won. But I wouldn't be surprised, man. My boy cashed this one easily. And we'd be like, man, why the hell we didn't take the Nuggets? Obviously, we like the Nuggets for the season. We like them as a contender. And they're going against a team that we know is going to be trash. It's just that I just don't want to pull it yet. And that's the only reason why. But I like the Nuggets a lot in this spot. It's just itching me that I'm not betting this yet. And that's probably the reason why I'm not betting it.
Next up, we've got Phoenix hosting Dallas. Mavs and Suns. Suns 4-point home favorites, 217.5 being the total here in this game. Should be fascinating to see how this transpires. Of course, I know there's going to be people that are going to line up here, back the Phoenix Suns, and what's the reason? They're going to use playoff revenge. You're going to hear that quite a bit. I don't have a play on this. This actually, of all the games, I don't have much on this one here. I'm going to sit back and watch it. Certainly that the Suns are not going to love the way they went down. They went out embarrassingly. It's not just that they lost that playoff series. It's that they got destroyed in the two games that they bowed out. And then that series was there and they got destroyed 113-86. And then at the house in Phoenix, 123-90. I can't get that game out of my mind. Just how pathetic that was for the Phoenix Suns. Pathetic. I mean, for a team that had such a great year and they flamed out. Let's be honest, they spit the bit. All right, they flamed out in that series against Dallas. It was absolutely dreadful to see that unfold. And then all kinds of offseason drama. DeAndre Ayton, Indiana trying to woo him to Indiana. They had to match the offer sheet. They were haggling back and forth whether they'd match the offer sheet to keep Ayton, but they ended up doing that. The Robert Sarver shit going on off the court now, forcing them to sell the team now. All kinds of distractions in the offseason. Can they put all that shit behind them and play a strong regular season? That's the one thing we've been trusting Phoenix the last 2 years. They've had good regular seasons, 2 years in a row, great regular seasons. So I kind of feel this a Phoenix spot. They're going to come out of the gate strong here, -4, but I never love betting against Luka and the Dallas Mavericks as a dog. And look, they did match up tough against Phoenix in that playoff series last year. Let's not forget that. Luka had his way, played Phoenix like a fiddle in that playoff series, although Brunson had a big part in that too. And Brunson's no longer there, of course, now in New York. So keep that in mind. But fascinating game, fun game to watch. I have a small lean to the over in this game. That's about it. I'm passing otherwise. Dutch, how about you? Dallas, Phoenix. Your guy, Luka the Don.
Yeah, man. I'm all over my guy, Luka the motherfucking Don. Believe it. Yeah, I'm all over that 4.5. I know revenge. Phoenix to me is not as good a basketball team as they were last year. Dallas has improved. Yes, they lost Jalen Brunson. But they got back Tim Hardaway Jr., who I believe is going to fit a beautiful role for them, as he knows. He's played with Luka before, obviously, but missed the end of the season. So it's like they get a fresh fucking Tim Hardaway Jr. coming right back in, and then Christian motherfucking Wood, man. To me, probably the best signing in the trade, however you want to put it, pickup in the offseason. Definitely what they need, man. This guy is inside, can play it. They got him coming off the bench too, so I think the morale, the starting five will still be intact with what kid knows what he's doing. He's got a good hold on that basketball team. Not only does he got Luka the motherfucking Don, but he's got these boys playing defense, team defense of basketball. You got the guys that play 3 and D. So, I think it's simple. If Dallas knocks down their open shots, Finney-Smith, Bullock, these cats, do what they're going to do. Luka going to do what he going to do, So if they can knock down the open shots, Dallas will win this fucking basketball game. But either way, I think it'll be a competitive basketball game, and Dallas will not get punked here. So give me the 4 and the hooker, and we're going straight to the motherfucking window with Luka the motherfucking Don.
There you go. Dallas plus the points for Dutch here in this one. Yeah, I mean, Dallas, when they're fully healthy, they're still a really good team because he can put Spencer Dinwiddie, Luka. I worry about them offensively. What if Luka's hurt again, Spencer Dinwiddie? Then there's a huge drop off now with Brunson gone offensively. So you got to stay healthy. You got to maintain health. You could say that about every team, but that's really important for Dallas. But they are to begin the season, so that should help them out. Yeah, Damian Lee, I guess, was the main pick up for Phoenix or addition in the offseason. Otherwise, it's pretty much status quo for the Phoenix Suns. A lot of the same group that they've had the last couple of seasons here back in the desert. Wham, what do you think here? Mavs, Suns?
Yeah, I think Phoenix lost more than what they gained back. I mean, you probably even lost the morale because of the not only because of the ownership. I mean, they already knew that was there, but the DeAndre Ayton stuff, and Jay Crowder stuff, that's it just seems like it's just a bad vibe over there for sure. They're not gonna have Landry. Landry showed pretty well in preseason. He was looking pretty good there, but they're not gonna have him tonight. And you mentioned it, Dutch. I mean, just getting the junior kid back, Hardaway Jr. back, and getting Christian Wood, that makes a big difference, along with getting a big center. I thought they were going to be in the market for the Rudy Gobert, but getting a center like JaVale McGee. Yeah. This JaVale McGee revenge game, like, you just to let y'all know, like, y'all thought y'all could just replace me with Bataze. Y'all thought this shit was sweet. I come out here and go against the ops, and then we win, So I like that. I like that narrative, bro. I like that narrative a lot. And I haven't bet this one yet either, though, bro. But man, this is another one, bro. Like I like Dallas here too, man. I like the money line too, bro, because I don't think it's not going to be that type of close game. It's either the Suns are going to do what they have to do revenge-wise, or Dallas just going to blow them out again. They're going to force the left. They're going to force Chris Paul left again, and it's going to be all shit he wrote. You know what I mean? So I think Dallas probably keeps the same game plan. Their shooters are probably going to be upgraded with Hardaway and Wood back, so the 3-point shooting is going to be still there. Defensively, we know what type of defensive team they were last year as far as the Mavericks. I think they are going to bring that into this game. I do like that Cameron Johnson is going to start, though, for the Suns, so that is interesting. I do like that aspect of this game. He's going to be starting rather than coming off the bench, but, losing out on Landry Shamet today, I can only think the Mavericks here, but I know people are going to be on the revenge stuff too with you, but like you're saying, Babano, a lot of people are liking the Suns because of the revenge factor. They're getting pushed to 4.5. I see at some spots as well. So money is still coming in on the Suns. I don't agree with that, man. I think Luka the Don is going to show out, and I want to say this is a national televised game, if I'm not mistaken. This is the TNT game. This is
ESPN doubleheader.
This is ESPN game. This is an ESPN game. You know how much Luka loves national TV, bro. So I'm not going against Luka on national TV. If anything, we on the money line with Dallas, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Should be interesting to see how this one unfolds. All right, final game of this massive card. We've reached the last game on this Wednesday slate. Portland, Sacramento. Sacramento 2.5-point home favorites, 229 being the total in this one. Look, I know I'm not the biggest Mike Brown fan, and I know there's some other people that feel that way. But, man, this guy looks like Red Auerbach and Pat Riley compared to the last two stiffs that were coaching this team, Alvin Gentry and fucking Luke Walton. Oh, my goodness. You can't tell me Mike Brown's not better than those two guys. At least this guy's been around some winning teams, winning seasons. He's been up with Steve Kerr all these years in Golden State on his coaching staff. It's got to be an upgrade in terms of the coaching. It has to be for this Sacramento team. I kind of like them here in this spot tonight. I think it's going to be the team that's going to be able to beat the bad teams. And Portland, I think, still in that realm where they could be a little bit shaky. Portland, though, I will say, will be better, obviously, this year to start the year because, obviously, they've got Dame time, Damian Lillard back on the floor. But they've still got a lot of proving ground. The bench is still shaky. And to be honest with you, I've not been impressed with anything Chauncey Billups has done here as the head coach of the Blazers here. But, when you look at Sacramento, I want to point out something. Last year, when they had De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis on the court late in the year for the few games they were, that offense took off. They were really scoring the ball. They had great inside-out balance. They worked the ball down low, up high, down low. Like I said, inside out. Now they bring in Kevin Huerter from the Atlanta Hawks, the redheaded stepchild, as I like to call him. You got Harrison Barnes. You've got they're a better offensive team. They should be able to shoot the ball and score the ball a lot better this year. Portland's still got issues defensively. Their strength is offense. So is Sacramento. Sacramento's defense is still, I think there's a lot of players on this roster that are still a little bit subpar defensively. I love Sabonis offensively, but defensively, there's a little lacking there at times. So the over makes a lot of sense to me here at 228.5. I think it's a game that can go over the total. And I lean to the Kings here as well, laying less than a full bucket. They're laying 2.5 here in this one. But like Sacramento a little bit, and I like the over here in this game even more. Dutch, how about you? Blazers, Kings.
Yeah, man. Lit picks. I see you, my man. Star Child, good to see you, my man. I actually low key want to talk about this game, but man, we talked too much already. So let's get the fuck on this. Back with this motherfucker, man. Let's go. I like this game, but I like Sabonis. I like Lillard, but man, we did enough.
Do you have a lean either way? Nothing? Side or total? Nothing?
No, I'm back with this motherfucker.
There we go.
I ain't mad at it. Don't ruin your birthday with the damn kids.
The birthday doesn't need Portland, Sacramento.
I need another drink. I need a refill on the wine. I ain't got no plane. The plane's been gone. Like we still got to do best bets.
Hey, I'll make it quick there, bro. I'll make it quick for you. I do like this game a lot as well. I'm right there with you with the over of Babano. And Mike Brown did say he wanted to get 40 attempts from 3 today, so he's going to try to shoot the lights out today. For this is what he wants from his team. So I'll try to look at the prop market. I do like Damian Mitchell to probably be playing one of those type of one of those reserve roles that kind of like sneaky on the prop market. He's not available yet, but we got to keep an eye on that. Anthony Simons over 2.5 3-point makes. This is something I didn't lock in officially as a single bet, but I do have this in a parlay. I do like this look a lot. I think he's going to be getting a lot of shots attempts. We've seen what he was doing without Dame. With Dame, it's probably going to take a little bit of his usage off, but he's the second guy We know he's the second guy there. They already paid him both of a lot of money. Got a lot of these guys locked up, like Nasir Little, who's going to be a good defensive guy for them, and a good corner three type guy there as well. So I'm liking the Blazers here, just because I think that they're undervalued. But let's be real, they're not going to play any defense here. I probably should be leaning towards the Kings. It's just because I think they have the better defenders in Harrison Barnes, Davion Mitchell, things of that nature here. But I'm not going to take that. I'm like Dutch. I'm not really that sure I want to be on a side on there. I think the props probably are where it's at, and liking that over with Babano there. So Anthony Simons is a play that I did make, but it's in a parlay. It's over 2.5 3-point makes. That's what I did lock in.
There we go. Good stuff. Yeah, tough start for the Padres. You might as well say that baseball game's over because Aaron Nola hasn't given up an earned run in the playoffs yet for the Phillies. So tough stuff for the Padres right now. Bad start.
Razor and Tease, man. They're loving that, I bet.
Yeah, exactly. So Philly's off to a good start there. And we're off to a great start with the Pub Up. This is our third show of the season. Great stuff. With Dutch and with Wham. We thank all of you for joining us. Hit the like button. Make sure 261 live viewers. Incredible.
Yeah, how many likes we got? Got a motherfucking up on us. This motherfucking respectful. Come on now. I don't know how many we got, but it's not enough. Man. You know, come on, man.
It's his birthday, God damn it. Let's hit that.
I think we at the Mando, though.
We're not asking for much. He's not asking for a birthday present. He's asking to hit the like button.
I'm going to give y'all the gifts. That's how that's what kind of guy I am. I give the gifts on my motherfucking day. So yeah, run up them likes. We're gonna get to the motherfucking bag. Believe that.
Absolutely. And we're gonna get to best bets coming up in just a second. But first, we're gonna hear from Manscaped in Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, and karaoke at Southtown 101 and Manscaped.com. Make sure you check them out for all your male grooming products, Lawnmower 4.0, and everything else. Manscaped.com, promo code PubSports. All right, it is best bet time to wrap it up for this Wednesday edition. Let's start with you, Dutch. What do you got for best bet?
Yeah, man, I'm going right back to it. The freshest motherfucking look. Gonna be the motherfucking Denver Nuggets. We're going first motherfucking half. We laying the 3 and the hooker. We're gonna get paid in motherfucking Utah. Believe that.
There we go. Denver Nuggets first half against Utah for Dutch with the freshest look for this Wednesday. Wham Bam, best bet. What do you like?
Yeah, man, best bet for me is gonna be the Spurs. Yes, they tanking. They're gonna tank this year, but not today. Pop. Said Doc. Come on now, Wham. Pop. 23-2 on season openers. Spurs money line -108. Give me that, man. Let's go to the window with it.
Yeah, there we go. Kiss of death by me. I said Nola hadn't given up an earned run in the playoffs.
Back to back, baby.
Jacks. Back-to-back Jacks. Solo.
There you go, Bobano.
God damn it. All right, Wham. There we go. He likes the Spurs over the Hornets for his best bet for this card. My best bet, I'm going to go to Houston, Atlanta, over the total. I think it's the best bet on the board. It's the one I've actually got the most on here. 234.5 is the total right now with that. I think you're going to see points, and more points in that game. Rockets, Hawks, Houston, Atlanta, over 234.5 for my best bet here for this Wednesday NBA slate. And that's a wrap for the NBA Pub Hub. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Hit that like button. A happy birthday to Dutch, who will be in the host's chair tomorrow on the Pub Hub show. He'll be hosting with Ski Profit and Durrell on Thursday. So make sure you join them for the show, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. I will be back on Friday's show, Wham, we'll see him again on Monday next week for the Pub Hub. Make sure you keep us tuning in Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. For Dutch Boy, Fresh, Trot, Wham, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And tune in again tomorrow for another edition of the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, on your birthday, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to the ladies, gents, and D-gents for tuning in. You already know it's all love. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Stay fresh. Stay blessed. Let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.